Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and just thought I'd jump on and do a quick video on my basically full honest review of Amazon FBA as a business model as we come into 2025. So what I think the pros are, what I think the cons are, and just my overall experience of doing it for almost half a decade now. And just give you guys a real insight into what it's actually like selling on Amazon and whether it's worth doing it in 2025. So for those of you who are new to the channel and maybe haven't watched any of my previous videos before, my name is Jack Davey, and I've been selling on Amazon now for, as I mentioned, the past 4.5, 5 years, and I've sold millions and millions of pounds worth of products on Amazon. And we've got a full team, a warehouse. We've been, like I say, trading for a long time, and we know the business model inside out, right? So I'm in a pretty good position to give you an honest overview of what it's actually like and like the behind the scenes things that I guess a lot of people online don't speak about, right? Because online it's spoken about as this get rich quick, fast cash model, right? Whereas like, I'll just set it straight from the get-go, like it's just not like that, right? It's not, if you're looking for like a get rich quick and you're looking to get into this business model and just become rich overnight, it's just not going to happen. I'll be totally frank with you, right? This is what sort of annoys me quite a lot, really, because I see so much of that online of like, this box could replace your monthly wage and that kind of thing. And it makes it, the perception of it sounds so easy without any objections, any hard work, any challenges, anything like that, when it's far from the truth, right? It's a genuine business, it's a real business. And as with any business, you get rewarded for the hard work that you put in, right? So you are going to face challenges. There are going to be hardships within it. But what I will say is it completely changed my life. Like over the past 4.5, 5 years, my life has completely changed. Like if I look at the day-to-day life and how my life looks, just absolutely transformed. And it's all really down to Amazon, right? Yes, it can be a great business model if you know how to do it correctly, and it can completely change your life. But also it's not a get rich quick, right? As I'm going to explain in the video. So I've been in the space quite a long time, and over the past 4.5, 5 years, I would say one of the best things about the business model is the fact that you have to put the hard work in up front in terms of like finding the product, opening the account with the supplier, like contacting the brand, negotiating with the supplier. But if you truly know how to do that properly, these products can last for years and years to come, meaning that every single month, all you have to do is replenish the product, as in buy the product again from the supplier and send the stock into Amazon and then sell it, and then just rinse and repeat that process. The actual hard work comes from being able to contact the brand and being able to actually get these really good accounts open that are going to last. Because if you're not good at identifying a good product opportunity and you're not good at contacting brands, then you will start to find the wrong type of products. You will start to contact the wrong type of brands, and that's ultimately going to lead to inconsistency. So you're not going to be able to achieve that. You're not going to be able to achieve the products that last even over 3 to 6 months. You're going to be constantly finding yourself chasing your tail. But if you actually learn how to do it properly, and I probably learned this maybe 18 months to 24 months into my journey of like truly how to find good products on a regular basis. And just to give you an example, like we've got products and brands that we've sold since pretty much day one. Like within the first 6 months of when I was selling on Amazon, we've still probably got maybe, I don't know, I'd say 5+ brands that we work with that generate us consistent monthly revenue that we still buy now, that we sourced 4+ years ago. So that's probably one of the things that I love the most about it, is if you truly know how to do it, genuinely the sky is the limit. The thing that's changed the most over the past, well, I can speak from my experience over the past 4.5, 5 years, where there was so much less competition on Amazon, right? And what I mean by this is there were significantly less sellers. You could probably just go to your run-of-the-mill generic wholesaler and you could probably just still buy stock and you could still sell it and probably make a profit, right? Now you cannot do that, right? So it makes it, you've got to gain a competitive advantage over your competition. You can't be just buying from the same suppliers as everybody else. You can't be going to these low barrier to entry suppliers where you're just buying the products at the same price, selling on the same listings, as you've got no competitive advantage. And these listings are filled with tens and tens of sellers on there, which is just going to make it super hard for you to scale. And this is why it's made it, I think, so much more important to actually have a full business presence and a full business profile, so that you can actually articulate more value to these suppliers and you can actually get the accounts open that other people can't. And I think that's one of the reasons why most people say, it's probably one of the most asked questions I get all the time, is like, is Amazon saturated? Is it still worth starting in 2025? Is it still a profitable model? And my answer, even for the past 2, 3, 4 years, has always been the same, right? If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to find the right type of products and contact the right brands, and you aren't negotiating properly, then 100% this is a saturated business model and you won't find much success. However, if you really understand what makes a good brand, what makes a good listing and product, you understand how to articulate value and understand how to actually approach these brands and open accounts with them, and you actually negotiate the pricing to give yourself that competitive advantage, Amazon is 1,000,000% not saturated at all. Bearing in mind, I've been in the space 4 to 5 years now, and I've been pretty much doing product research day in, day out. So I'm always in the market, like I'm always looking for new products and new opportunities. I am still to this day finding new products, listings and brands that I've never seen or heard of before. And these products, listings and brands can be selling hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of times per month. And I've never even heard of them. And I've been literally doing product research day in, day out. But you've got to know where to look for these brands and actually how to contact them, because it's all well and good knowing what, finding a good brand. But if you just contact them and they just say, sorry, we're not willing to open up trade accounts at the moment, you're not going to get anywhere. You've got to learn how to overcome these objections. You've got to have the right strategies and it doesn't become saturated. So my biggest pet peeve about selling on Amazon, or the thing I hate the most, and any Amazon seller who's watching this video will know exactly what I mean, is seller support. Now, what I mean by this is the actual support system that you get as a seller when selling on Amazon. So Amazon in general are renowned for amazing customer service, right? If you buy a product on Amazon and like as a consumer and you're buying it, getting it delivered to your house, if there's anything wrong with the product, or if it doesn't get delivered, or for whatever reason, there's just something wrong with it, right? You will get a refund pretty instantly. It will be great customer service. You won't have to like push for a refund or anything, right? It's great customer service, and that's why people keep going back and reordering, because of the quick delivery and the great customer service. But when you look at it from a seller's perspective about the seller support service that you get, it is absolutely diabolical. And the main reason for this is most of the seller support team are based overseas, right? Which is okay, it's fine. But the main problem with that is English isn't their first speaking language. So a lot of the time when you're corresponding on email or you're on the phone, they don't actually fully understand your issues. They don't fully understand what you're saying. What that means is that they're not going to give you the response that you actually need when you've got issues or with your selling account or whatever. So a lot of the time you'll just see, especially if you make a case by email, you'll just see templated response back. You may, outline a massive long paragraph and loads of questions and stuff with an issue or something like that, and they'll just come back to you with a templated response that is like absolutely nothing to do with the query that you put in or the case that you put in, right? And that's just because, one, English isn't their first language, and two, they are heavily tracked on like their performance. So they need to respond to a certain amount of queries, a certain amount of phone calls, emails per hour. So that means that like they just want to get the response out of the way. And this basically what this means is like sometimes you'll open a case and you'll have an issue with seller support and they just won't answer your query. And it might take 3, 4, 5 different times of like resubmitting the same information, like getting ungated or for a brand or getting ungated for a category or whatever it may be. Sometimes you have to submit it 3, 4, 5. I've even seen it like 10 times before, even though you know the information is correct. So I'd say that's the one thing, or the biggest thing that I hate about selling on Amazon. So to speak on some of the things that we're actually personally struggling with in our Amazon business at the moment, and things we're trying to like actively combat, is first of all, space. As a lot of you guys who've watched the channel before will have seen, we have a unit and we've had it for now, I think coming up to 3 years. So we've had it quite a while, and it's 1,000 square foot, which was great to start with when we were obviously a lot smaller. But now, especially over like the past few months, we have scaled dramatically. Even over the past few years, we've scaled dramatically to the point now where we are really stressed for space. At the moment, for example, it's just been the Christmas period, and over the past 2 or 3 months, we hit over £500,000 run rate. So we hit per month. So we hit just under £600,000 in sales in one singular month. And for anybody that knows anything about Amazon or e-commerce or anything like that, the amount of space that you need theoretically to churn that much volume through like an online store is pretty crazy, right? And we've managed to churn that much volume through 1,000 square feet, which is pretty incredible, right? To get nearly £600,000 monthly revenue out of 1,000 square feet is pretty incredible, right? So we're having a big trouble with space at the moment. So a couple of things we're doing to combat this is, first of all, we've got a really good relationship with a supplier that we are just about to do a hell of a lot of business with, like tens and tens of thousands of units worth of products, so hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of stock value. They have actually just acquired a 20,000 square foot warehouse that is, say, about 15 to 20 minutes from maybe not even that, 10 to 15 minutes away from our warehouse. And they have kindly, free of charge, let us store some product there. So we're storing about 10 to 15 pallets worth of stock in their warehouse, stock that we don't need immediate access to. That's one of the ways that we've managed to free up a bit of space. But we're also trying to dial in on the system and process more. And what I mean by this is, with FBA, obviously a lot of our stock isn't actually held at the warehouse. We get the stock in, we'll prep it up in singular units or maybe bundles, pack sizes, whatever, and send it back out. So we're really looking at the efficiencies of how we can make it a faster, smoother, and easier process to, when the stock comes in, getting it out straight away. So ideally, we want a 24 to 48 hour turnaround on most stock. Now, we're not currently achieving that at the moment, but that's what we're sort of dialing in and trying to do. So that's one of the ways as well. But we also definitely are looking for new commercial premises in 2025. So we probably will move to somewhere maybe, I'd say 3,500 square foot, maybe 3,000 to 5,000, something like that. And that should give us some breathing room and ability to scale, do more FBM and that kind of thing. That's the main problem that we're struggling with. But also the second problem is cash flow. Now, any Amazon seller who really gets good at finding product opportunities, opening good accounts with suppliers and good brand direct accounts, and gets good at negotiating, will have cash flow as a problem. I don't care if you're starting with 50 quid, 5 grand, 50 grand, even 100 grand, right? You're going to have cash flow problems if you really get good at those skills, right? But the good thing is, which a lot of people don't realize, is such an easy problem to solve if you really understand the game, right? If you look at majority of the big institutions in the world and the most successful businesses, they all get good at raising money and raising capital, right? So whether that's from private investors, banks, family offices, wherever it is, institutional investors, wherever it is, you need to get great at finding good deals and raising the money to be able to fund them. And that's really what's going to see a massive incremental growth in your Amazon business. And it's something that we ourselves are big on in our Amazon business. As I say, cash flow is a problem. So we've raised in 2024, we raised close to 6 figures from private investment, from the bank, from all different types of investment. In 2025, we're looking to significantly increase that, right? And it's something that we really go quite hard on teaching our students. So I also run a coaching and consulting program called the ANZ Blueprint. This is where we teach Amazon sellers to scale from wherever they're at now to 100K per month in sales. And one of the biggest aggregates for that is raising funds. So we have a full finance mastery module within our program that goes through A to Z, everything in terms of like the raising of funds. So raising equity, raising debt, raising from private investors, how to pitch it, what they look for, all these different kind of things, and just understanding finance on a deeper level. And it's been really great for a lot of our students. A lot of them have raised money from tons of different areas. Recently, one of our students, Kobe, he raised money from a private investor, I think £30,000, which was great, which I might do a video on in the future, speaking about that as well. But that's something we really go hard on in the program because it's something that nobody in the Amazon space really talks about, and it's such an incremental thing. Yeah, that's one of the key things we're struggling with at the moment is cash flow, but again, it is a solvable problem. So one common question I get asked a lot is like, how would I recommend people to get into the space, right? The best answer to this question is, me personally, by far the most amount of progress that I've ever made in my business and personal life has always been when I've put my back up against the wall and I've invested into myself and I've got in the right rooms and I've got around the people who are in the position or done things that I want to do or people who I want to be, right? A great example of this was an investment I made in myself, I would say coming up to 2 years ago now, maybe 18 months ago, where I invested in a mastermind, which was a 5-day event in Dubai. It was a £25,000 investment. I would say that event genuinely changed my life. The main takeaways that I had from it was the ability to think bigger, the ability to know actually what's out there, raising money, raising funds, and actually understanding that all these successful businesses are a game of raising capital and then actually successfully deploying that capital. The amount I learned from that trip beyond finding the best products or, learning how to negotiate the best or whatever, by far the times when I've invested in myself, they haven't come from finding the best product strategy or finding the best way to negotiate or whatever. It's actually learning how these successful people think, how they view the world, what their perception is, right? And how they've actually come to these conclusions themselves, because ultimately I don't want to just go and learn how to find a product or whatever. I want to learn how these people think so I can become the person I need to be to actually make a business successful. And That was just one example. A second time is a time when I put my back up against the wall is actually when we first went back registered in the business, right? And this was maybe 3.5 years ago now, 3 years ago, something like that. I could be wrong, right? But about 3 years ago, went back registered. We were basically doing really well in the Amazon business, right? We were doing about 20K per month, really great margin. I think 25% plus profit margins, and we were just about to go back registered. So I quit my job, applied for commercial premises, so like the unit. I just bought a new car, also taken on a member of staff. So I had all these things happening at once, and the month I quit my job, I went back registered. And what happened at that time in the Amazon business was that it was the time where container prices were at an all-time high, which meant that the prices that I was getting from my suppliers significantly increased by like all-time highs that had never been seen before, because container prices were like 10xing, which meant the product value had to increase. So product costs went up, Amazon fees also went up. I went back registered. I just took on all those massive overheads. The first month that I went back registered, we did less in sales than the months before, and I made less than 5% gross margin. And I'd just taken this big risk, quit my job, bought this new car, everything, and it put me in a position where I was like, fuck, I need to make this work. Like I've got significant consequences if I don't make this work. And I put my back up against the wall, and I made it happen. And by far the times in business when I've made the most progress is when I've put my back up against the wall and given myself no other option but to make it work. That is what I would just say to you always. Take action. Just take action. Like, people say, when is the best time to start Amazon, right? The best time to start Amazon was yesterday. Or the best time to start your business was yesterday. But the second best time to start is now. And I know it sounds so cliche, but genuinely, that is the biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody, is just do it. Just start. Get around the right people, understand the right strategies, and just do it. And that is the biggest piece of advice I could give to anybody. So what are my plans and goals going into 2025? I think the overriding goal, and I think it's important to have one overriding goal. The main overriding goal is to hit £1 million a month in the Amazon business, right? In 2024, we hit almost £600,000 in a rolling 12-month period, in a rolling 30-day period. And we're looking to make it $1 million. So almost double, right, in 2025. And that is the main goal. But how we're going to do this is through probably getting the bigger premises, really developing the team and implementing bulletproof systems and processes. In the back end of 2024, we took on a couple of key members of the team, and I think they're going to be incremental in helping us get to that goal. So it's just really letting them settle in, do their thing, and really build the process and systems out. In terms of like the sales and how we're going to get more sales is launching. We're going to be launching into the US and Europe, which is quite a big thing. And I don't know how that's going to go, but that could be a big revenue generator for us. So we're definitely looking at that as we go to 2025. And I would say that's probably going to be towards the back end of the year. But a couple of main European marketplaces and also the US. And it's just rinse and repeat in the same systems, finding the great products, building great relationships with new and existing suppliers, and then raising more capital to be able to fund these deals, and then actually building the infrastructure to be able to handle the volume and handle the increase in throughput. So I'll say they are my main goals for 2025, and that's really how we're going to achieve it, just doing the same thing, launching into new marketplaces, and just scaling the business. So my overall thoughts on Amazon, and is it worth it? Is it saturated in 2025? Should I start? Whatever, that kind of thing, right? If you are really willing to be disciplined, put the hard work in, learn from the right people and get around the right people and implement the strategies, and genuinely, you're not looking to get rich quick overnight, Amazon could genuinely change your life. And I say that with genuine conviction because it's not only changed my life over the past 4 or 5 years, but a ton of my students have done exactly the same thing. I've seen people quit their jobs, get warehouses, employ staff, like completely change their life in 6, 12, 18 months. Like genuinely, if you implement the right strategies, it could be a great business model. If you are, just looking to not get the right knowledge, buying from the general run-of-the-mill wholesales, that kind of thing, it is going to be saturated. And you're going to struggle to build a great business. But if you truly understand the fundamentals of what makes an Amazon business great and the core skills and foundations that you need to be able to do it, it can genuinely change your life. With that being said, if you are an existing Amazon seller or you're looking to get into the space and you really want a life-changing opportunity and you want to genuinely scale your Amazon business to significantly high levels, like hundreds of thousands of pounds per month, go to the description of this video and book in a call with myself, right? And on this call, we'll basically just be able to find exactly where you're at right now, exactly where you want to get to, and can we help you, right? Because if we can, great, okay? I'll show you around the platform, I'll show you around the program, and we can get things moving. But if we can't, I promise you, you will leave the call better off than when you started. And we are a small, close-knit community, right? We want to work with people who genuinely want to make a change and genuinely want to make this work, okay? So if you're genuinely looking for that opportunity and that real stepping stone to transition from wherever you're at now, maybe you're doing online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, wholesale, and you're doing 3K, 5K, 10K, 20K per month, whatever it is, and you're really looking to take your business to the next level, I can genuinely help you. I say that because with genuine conviction, because I've done it for myself and I've done it for a ton of other students, as you can see on the YouTube channel and with all the testimonials and stuff. So if you are genuinely looking for that, go to the description and book a call and we can have a chat. Thank you for watching this video, and hope you enjoyed, hope you got a ton of value out of it, and I will see you in the next one.